So there's like 12 different nationalities on my boat, so that's going to be in English, guys, for the most of you. Français, no, huh? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, with one language, I can give you the most information you can have on a tour. So, enjoy it. My name is Alan. I'm going to be your guide for the next 30 to 35 minutes if everything goes well. We start immediately with the symbol of Bruges is our Belfry Tower, 83 meters in height, 366 steps to the top. 47 bells you have hanging there with a total weight of 27 tons. Also slowly the tower starts to lean over to the right. Every year a little bit more, so in 15 years from now we have our very own Tower of Pisa on our hands. Another attraction for Bruges. So we had the French, the English, the Germans, the Spanish, even the Vikings past Bruges. We are still alive and kicking, but they all left us a little souvenir one way or another. So here now, past the bridge on your right, you're going to find a souvenir from the French on the Napoleon Bonaparte. It's our fish market and still in use nowadays. Also for all kinds of events and little art markets. Pascal, happy birthday, Yvette. Sinds we hebben graftest bezig. So here, right hand side souvenir from the French on the Napoleon Bonaparte is our fish market that's still in use nowadays. The way back you're gonna have a better view on the imperialistic style of the fish market. So here in front of us, the oldest bridge in Bruges from the 12th century. It's called the May Bridge and it's ready to collapse any day now. Every time we pass that bridge, we are lucky people. We have 43 of those bridges in Bruges who connect all the beautiful corners together because Bruges is built. So Bruges is built on water like Venice. The difference is with Venice, we have nothing to do with the sea here. It's fresh water or sweet water, and we use log houses to stabilize the water in the old center of Bruges. So with the global warming in 200 years from now, when Venice is gone, Bruges is probably still gonna be here. At least we hope so. Little information on the canals of Bruges. We have 16 kilometers inside of Bruges. We use 5 for the tour. Water is between 1 and 3 meters deep. And we have plenty of fish in here. We have carps, eel, piranhas, all different kinds. Here on the right, we're gonna pass the house with the red windows and the red doors. The Pelican House from 1634 was given to the poor people by the rich at the time to live for free. Nowadays, they don't do that anymore. We still use tiny little God's houses all over Bruges for the lonely elderly and the poorest among us. It's not for free anymore, but pretty close. It's also part of our social security system. Here in a few seconds on the right, we're going to pass our connection with Ghent by the water, 45 kilometers, also a medieval city like Bruges, and almost as beautiful as Bruges.
Oh, is it?
Almost.
Oh, yeah.
Also on the other side of the bridge, there's a possibility to swim in the summer there, just to see how clean the water actually is in the center of Bruges. So past the bridge, the cute little tower of the Baroque style Church of St. Anna, well known for its beautiful interior there. We have 9 churches in the old center on a population of 20,000 people. There used to live 40,000 people in the old center of Bruges, but as more business came into the old center, people started moving just outside of Bruges. So left-hand side, a little side information. We're gonna pass the white steeple house there with the little steps on top. And if you look closely on top of the white building, you're gonna see a symbol you probably all recognize. It's our first McDonald's from the 17th century. Don't you forget them. Here at the bridge to the left, the big building is the College of Europe. There's only 1 year of specialization in Bruges, 15,000 euros to get admitted. So here they form the future politicians and economists of Europe, and not every year in that building is a good year. So here right-hand side, we pass our beautiful steeple houses, typical for the lowlands. Lowlands meaning the East and West Flanders and also Holland. For example, in Ghent and Amsterdam, you also find those beautiful buildings, all built between 1600 and 1800. So with one live which I'm going to give you some more details. So you see the ironwoods at the building. On the inside, they are connected with oak beams to the other side of the building where you have irons again. So it's to keep the building together. They are very strongly built. Also notice on top of the windows, the little red arcs you see everywhere. And all the little faces in there and animal heads. That was to keep out the bad spirits out of the house in the medieval years. So when you walk through Bruges, you're going to see that a lot. Here we have a perfect example from 1675. Some more side information for the people who remember the famous actress Audrey Hepburn. She used to live here in Bruges for a couple of years. Here on the right in the white building.
Yeah.
Here on the right, connection with the coast by the water, only 10 kilometers. So the connection was made possible by the French under Napoleon Bonaparte as our fish market. The fish market made possible by Napoleon. So they made the connection to the coast. First it was to arm his troops. It's only afterwards that the connection became commercial. So in front of us, the building with the beautiful towers, the Portersloge, was one of the first stock markets in Europe. So there they decided on the prices of the merchandise coming into the ports and also the distribution all over Europe. So you have to imagine in the medieval years here in the old center of Bruges, it was completely packed here with boats, constantly. Devant le bâtiment, on trouvait aussi le statue de Jan van Eyck, de leur peintre primitif. It's one of the most famous Flemish primitive painters in Europe. Here past the bridge, on your left, the white building that you see there is the British consulate of the 19th century. Nowadays it's a school in there and the building is also for sale. If you're looking for a getaway house for the weekends in Bruges, for the ladies to start a bed and breakfast, now is your time. Unfortunately, the school has to leave the building because they cannot longer maintain it, so that's too bad. Yeah, left-hand side. The little street going out there is where you find Café Vlessingen. The oldest pub in town from 1515, and the interior there is still authentic. They only changed a little bit at the bar, but everything else in there is 1515. Here in front of us, the little street going on there. Side we pass our beautiful steeple houses again, and as you can see they are completely been renovated. So also the city of Bruges gives an amount of money to the owners to help put the buildings back in their original state. So as you can see, the plan works. And also the whole city of Bruges is under protection of UNESCO. So every year Bruges receives an amount of money to help renovate or maintain one of the major buildings in Bruges. On the bridge to the left, there's two buildings on the corner there with windows that are not actually windows. Is because in the old days you had to pay taxes for every single window when the sunlight came in. Unbelievable, but true. A little gift from Napoleon at the time, eh? So even then they were quite inventive to take the money out of your pocket. So here on the left, the two buildings on the corner. Also in Paris and London and Amsterdam, for example, they used those taxes. First street on the right, you're going to find another example like that, but there they made a little artwork out of it. Here in the street, we keep going on the right. The colors red and green are typical colors for Bruges. In the dark ages they actually used real ox blood to paint the outside walls. So imagine the smell and the flies in those lovely days. Lovely dark ages. Keep going on the right here next to the flag of Bruges with the blue line at the center. At the wall you have a little bear standing there. Is the city symbol of Bruges. Stands for courage and bravery through history. So you see, size doesn't always matter. Cute little teddy bear of Bruges. So in a few moments on the right here, we're going to pass a little tea house on water from the 19th century, still in use nowadays. Just been renovated, it's part of a bed and breakfast now. Nowadays it's our city hall, dated back to 1600. Also very nice building to visit. Gothic style in there. There's also a museum. little pigeon towers there. Okay, like I said, on the way back, on the left you have a better view of the imperialistic style of the fish market. So Napoleon had something with the Roman influences, which you can see very clearly now. In front of us, appearing, the building with the woodwork is the oldest hotel in Bruges from the 17th century. It's called the Burgundy Cross Hotel. Beautiful building there. For the 19th century there was also a fire in there, but they were able to contain it, so to save the building. Beautiful building there. Next to the hotel on the corner is the Spanish house. We used to have generals living there. Nowadays it's a paradise for the beer lovers. We have about 3,600 different kinds of Belgian beer, so you better get started. Here is the Spanish house. In front of us, the Holy Mary Church of Bruges, 122 meters in height and the second highest brick building in Europe. The highest one is in Germany. For the Deutsche Leute, das ist ja in Ulm. So the church was also completely renovated under protection of UNESCO, and while they were renovating the church there was an art robbery going on in there. Lots of art disappeared, never to be found again. So probably it ended up in a private collection somewhere in the world. Still to be found inside the church though is one of the beautiful masterpieces of Michelangelo, is the Madonna and Child in white marble. One of the few masterpieces of Michelangelo who ever passed the Alps when he was still alive. So until this day the Italians are not so happy with that. But we gave them the Euro Cup instead on a silver platter, so we're even. Past the trees, on top of the bridge you're going to find the entrance of the Palace of Grütze. So the Grütze family was a very important and powerful family in the medieval years. They controlled everything about the import and the export of the merchandise in Bruges. Gonna see it appear behind the tree here in a second. Also a beautiful picture there. Here now we pass under the bridge, and if you look on top of you, you're going to see there's actually three different bridges. First one with the stalactites is from the 15th century, and then 16th and 17th century. Here on the last two bridges nowadays there's a building standing there. On front of it, the little Bonifacius Bridge of the 19th century, we also call it our Kisi Bridge. Millions of people have taken a picture here with their loved ones, and also people getting married on this bridge. So for the lovers on the boat, you know what to do after the tour. No pressure. Right inside the back building of the Holy Mary Church, also beautiful architecture there. On the left, the little house with the woodwork hardware from the 17th century. Nowadays it's a cozy bed and breakfast with all authentic medieval furniture there.
Nice, huh? It's weird. Where else,
Because this is the lowest bridge, isn't it?
Maybe you could go by the window
Right that side, the old St. John's Hospital opened up in the 12th century and only closed down in 1976. Nowadays there's still... the old St. John's Hospital opened up in the 12th century and only closed down in 1976. Nowadays in the building you also find a museum for Hans Memling, also one of our Flemish primitive painters.
That's Jeff.
I don't think that's a Flemish painter.
Yeah, it's a museum.
So here in the backside of the hospital, also a nice place to be in. Left hand side, a moment to be serious. We're gonna pass the lowest bridge of Bruges, so please stay seated to take your pictures here, because it's here we lose about 10% of our clientele every year. Attenzione la cabeza. Voorzicht, sitzen bleiben bitte. Attention, opgelet. To the right is the entrance of the Biggernage from 1776. Nowadays there's still Benedict sisters living there, and also in the monastery you have a code of silence. There's only 4 Benedict sisters left, so that they allow lonely ladies to live there. Also in the monastery you have a code of silence. Must be quite hard with all those ladies in there.
Indeed.
So here the entrance from the beautiful. In front of us at the end the Lockhouse of Bruges. On the other side is the Lake of Love, and the water there is 1 meter higher than inside of Bruges. So if they open the gates there, we have quite a serious problem on our hands. Also known as the beautiful, majestic, romantic swans of Bruges, but sometimes they can be quite aggressive. On the other hand, all the ducks you find everywhere in Bruges, that's for the little Chinese restaurants in town. Here now past the bridge, on your right we're gonna pass the Half Moon Brewery from the 18th century. Nowadays you also find a beer museum in there and a guided tour of 45 minutes with degustation. Also known as the ropes against the wall of the brewery, it's to help grow the experimental hops they plant every year. It's here, right hand side. So careful everyone, we come back to the lowest bridge. So now just for the fun of it, on the right hand side of the boat, we're gonna check how low we can go. Alors attention, côté droit du bateau, attenzione alla derecha del barco, voorzicht rechtse zijde. Off we go.
See ya. Bye, nice to
I hope everyone understood me. Well done. Left hand right-hand side, the St. Saviour Cathedral, well known for its beautiful medieval tapestry there. Here, left-hand side up. A feature. Here in front of us on the bridge to the left, we're gonna pass a little chapel there on the water, and it's there that took out the dead people from the hospital on boats. Nowadays they don't do that anymore because we need the boats now for the tourists. No, but seriously, in the medieval years, Bruges had the plague and they carried away the dead people by boats to avoid even more infections on the street. So that's what helped survive Bruges in the medieval years. The little chapel on your left. And the white door is where they took out the boats. Here, left-hand side. Well, bezig van de... Ik geloof nog weer vele sporen van de... So slowly we come back to our Kissy Bridge, and on the left-hand side of the bridge and the wall you're gonna find the smallest Gothic window of Bruges. Was a little window to spy on the boats coming in and also the people passing the bridge. So you're gonna see appear the little spy window behind the tree there in front of us in a few seconds. So the little spy window is part of the Palace of Krutus, completely renovated now. It's a museum where you can see how the people lived in the medieval years, all with authentic materials. You can see it now, the cute little spy window. Also on the left, beautiful picture here. Also notice the beautiful gargoyles on top of the building and also the watchtower in the middle of the roof there. Because it's almost transparent. Here immediately on your right, unbelievable but true, it's been stolen twice already. Yes? So somewhere in the world people use that on their table now. Still on the right, on the other side, the blue gate you see there is the Groningen Museum, where you find the Flemish primitives I was talking to you about, and Son of Margaret, world famous Belgian surrealist. If you like your paintings, nice place to be in. So here now past the trees on your right, the big yellow building you see there is Hotel de Tuileries, and all the little windows there are handmade out of Venetian crystal. So if you're gonna look closely at the windows, you're gonna see a purple glow in there. That's because of the crystals. Right hand side here. 400 euros a night in there. So you better look through those windows at night. Here, the right hand side. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, almost at the end of our little adventure on the canals of Bruges. I hope you liked what you saw and also the explanation of your guide. If so, you can always leave a tip on the way out of the boat. For the rest, enjoy our beautiful city. There's still lots of things to do and to see. Enjoy it. And for the rest, thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. Merci beaucoup. Dank u wel. Muchas gracias para la atención. Grazie mille. Obrigado. Und vielen Dank. Voilà.
It's got the loud clap. Every time she claps, it's like horrific how she claps.
She did big films.
Thanks to you. The one time. The second time, I had like a foot. Not more.
Thank you. Merci, thank you.
If you want a video, look for the Black Kaiser on YouTube. The Black Kaiser.
Oh, right, okay.
Where are you from?
This is my brother. I'm from, well, Somerset way.
Oh, Somerset.
Yeah. He lives in Australia.
Alright, thanks. Most appreciated. Like the York Cup, Joe.
What about you two? Really fun.
Yeah, man. And all listeners.
and everything else.
Texas. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Have fun, guys.
Cheers.
Ciao. Take care.
Okay.